we got our spray-on BONDO polyester filler, whatever you want to call it. We put it on here, and it went on very thickly. We ended up putting 2 coats on it because it was so hot out. Yesterday morning, it was like fucking 92 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning that it was drying faster than we were putting it on. So we ended up putting 2 coats on it. And what happens when you put this shit on when it's real fucking hot is that it doesn't really flow out like it's supposed to. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Alright, if you remember back in the video when we first were initially starting to do this, I went ahead and took this panel here and I sprayed some on there. I don't know if 5-time actually caught that on film, but I was showing you the pattern of the gun and how it worked. And if you look right there, you can see that it laid down very smooth and looks like it laid down and flowed out good. But then when we come up to the car here, you can see that it's actually very, very ripply and thick. Look how thick it is over here. Really came out really thick. I mean, the whole thing is just absurdly thick and ripply, and it didn't flow out like we wanted it to. So what that's going to do, that's going to give us more work than we really want to do to it, because to get all this out, we're really going to have to block the shit out of it to fucking make it work right. Now, I did want to show you one thing, is right here, this section here, I went ahead and sprayed approximately 3 coats right here, 3 thick coats, because I don't know what the deal was down here, but it's not just here, but it's over on the other side as well, that it was like welded up or some crap was going on each corner, and I couldn't get it to where it was actually a nice sharp corner like it was here. So I filled this in vigorously, and what I'm going to do is when I block this out, we'll make sure not to sand this corner. That'll keep our edge like it's supposed to. I want you to notice that this is very, very strong. You can see where I'm scratching it, and it's not even coming off. It's very, very fucking durable and lasting, long lasting. But the real situation we got is this right here, that it went on very dry and kind of dried shitty. Now I know we got the roof where it's going to be looking like a flawless machine that it should be looking like, and this should fix the situation we had with all the fucking bodywork we had to do on it. It should flow it all out, get rid of all the imperfections, and then also on the trunk, remember when Clown had 940, Clown guy fucking dude was pointing out all those little imperfections in the deck lid. That should have fixed that as well. So normally what you would do on a job like this, you would actually use a flex block with 80 grit and start getting after it. But since this stuff is so thick and it came to a ripply, orange peely effect on it, we're gonna have to start with our air tools. And the 2 air tools that we're gonna be using is, of course, a DA sander. And I suggest do not rely on this to do this, because if you don't know how to use the DA sander properly and you don't know how to control it, you just wasted all your money on this, because it's going to be ripply and very, very uneven when you get done using that DA. We're going to be using this on all these corners that we won't be able to reach with our orbital air file. This basically works the same as that. The only difference is this goes back and forth this way and back and forth that way, and there's a motor inside this that rotates around to make it in a swirl type situation to work. There's 4 rubber shoes on this tool. I don't know if you can see that from where you're at. Let me bring it up there. Alright, you can see there's 1 rubber shoe, there's another rubber foot, and then what happens is the little propeller in here in the motor spins and makes this an orbital type sander. And you can also look at it and judge at it that it is a very, very old tool. I've had this a very long time. A close friend of mine gave me this back in about 1980. He bought it back in the early 60s, and I have actually taken this thing apart several times to clean it out and rebuild it. Very simple tool, very easy to use. But the problem you have with it, when you're using it at a high speed, you got to know how to control it. So this is basically the same as this. When you're using this tool, what happens is you'll be holding it like this, and you're gonna move the sander this way. What happens, it wants to kick up like that. And if you're pulling that trigger like this, while that thing happens to go up like that, it's gonna cut a groove into your bodywork. So this is a very handy tool, but also a very hard tool to actually use accurately. Once we get done with that, then we'll go to our hand sanding and hopefully get this thing blocked out. And then there's one other thing that I want to stress on, and I'm going to tell you a little story about a guy that is actually 2 years younger than me that used to have a trailer company. When I say trailer, I'm talking big, giant corporational trailer company. He used to build chaparral trailers for race car companies such as NASCAR and all the big boy fucking drag guys and all this other shit. He was right up the street up here. And he's still alive, but the problem we have is he's got lung cancer. He's got lung cancer at the age of 53. He's a multi-millionaire. He owns the buildings. He rents them out now. He sold the Chaparral Trailer Company, and he got cancer. Now, back in the day when he had the trailer company, he did exactly what I did, worked his ass off, and fucking did all the painting and all the body work and pop riveting and aluminum work and everything it takes to build a fucking trailer. He was a hands-on guy like my friend Pete is, but the only problem between him and me, he didn't use safety equipment. He thought that he was Superman and that he was going to be able to go in a paint booth and paint Emerald paint and single stage enamel with, yeah, you get the idea, very, very bad isocyanides, this, that, and the other, and was immune to the paint fumes. First of all, Emerald paint, I refuse to use it. I will not use it. Don't fucking call me and say, I want an Emerald paint job. I want you to use, I will say, no, I will hang up on you. I will tell you to fuck off. Emerald paint does not even come into my shop. Just opening a can of Emerald paint and breathing the fumes in the air can actually toxicate your system in your body. Emerald paint is the most dangerous paint ever made. It's airplane paint. It's paint that the 18-wheeler industry uses. 18-wheeler trucks use Emerald. And the situation you have with that is when you paint with Emerald paint, your whole body has to be completely covered. Whereas if you use base coat, clear coat, it's okay to go ahead and paint like I am as long as you're having a respirator on. And the reason Emerald paint is dangerous because that paint actually has chemicals in the paint that will go into the pores of your skin. Once it goes into the pores of your skin, it gets into your bloodstream and into your lung system, you might say, or what have you, brain cells too. So, I am going to stress very strongly, whatever type of job you are doing, wear your safety equipment. Whether it be sanding, painting, welding, whatever. If it requires safety glasses, wear them. If it requires gloves, wear them. Do not be the idiot with your fucking welder in your hand with no fucking gloves on and no glasses and come over here and go, okay, I want a welder right here. Okay, don't fucking do that. Don't be the fucking, you know, big ball cocky guy that thinks he's better than everybody else. All right, put your fucking helmet on, put your fucking dust mask on, put everything on that it takes to protect your body so you can live a longer life. This is a big fucking job. It's 7:30 at night on a Saturday. It actually, surprisingly, the temperature has dropped 20 degrees in August. It rained like hell yesterday when we sprayed this, and I had to let it sit overnight. So I want to get this done because it's a filthy fucking job. I don't know if anybody out there sanded this, but I'm telling you, this is filthy. It's going to take me a couple, 2 to 3 hours just to sand this shit off, and then I got to come back and hand sand it. So let me get to work. Like I said, 80 grit is the key to this. All right, you want to start out with 80 with your machines. All right, if you don't have issues in air file, whatever it takes, if it lays down glass smooth like it should have, you can actually literally just go straight into hand sanding. Try to avoid block sander air tools when doing your final block sanding. The only reason I've been doing this shit for fucking, ever, and I know how to control my air tools. So if you're new at this, don't use air tools. Get your hand sanders out and be prepared. This stuff here is very hard to sand. Now, I will say that once you bust through the glaze coat on the top, because everything that you do in the automotive industry, when you spray something on, there's always a glaze coat. And what the glaze coat is, it's a micro film that actually dries on top of the layer of whatever you sprayed. And once you break through that, it usually sands very easily. This is the same way. It's just getting through that glaze coat is gonna be the fucking bitch that says, fuck you, I'm the boss now, you're not. So hopefully this bitch will work with me and paint ready. This was supposed to be a paint ready fucking car, and we're talking last year. This is 2016. This thing was supposed to be paint ready when I started on it in 2015. Actually, it was a year ago, last week, that I've been working on this car. It was the end of July when this car was brought up here, and we had to do all the bodywork to the doors and the fenders and the hood. Major fucking shit going on here. Major fucking shit. I wouldn't recommend if somebody tells you, it's gonna be paint ready. It's a paint ready deal. You don't have to do nothing but block sand it out. Bullshit! You do have to fucking do a lot. Let me quit talking and get to fucking work here. I got a lot of shit to do. It's not a paint ready fucking car. Let me fucking get it done, bitch! Spots that we need to fill it in, and the way that you tell that is when you start seeing primer spots, you want to go ahead and pretty much stop, because what happens is it's leveling itself out and it's filling in all the places that needs to be filled in, and you're starting to get down to where the high spots are. So when you see primer, that means stop where you're at, because now it's time for hand sanding. So I got two kinds of blocks here that I usually use on this. This is our rubber block, kind of semi-flexible, but works very well on this. And then I got this homemade job right here. If you can see right there, that's very flexible, and we use that a lot. So what we're doing here is we're catching all our corners this way, And then on this one here, we're gonna be using all of our flat edges on top. We're gonna go with 80 grit first. Once we get done with that, we're coming back with fucking 180. Okay. One thing I can say that's good about this stuff is that most BONDO products, most filler products, will gum up on your paper and clog it very quickly. If you look at the paper here, I just got done sanding the whole top of that roof. You just saw that. And the paper is still very usable, so that's one thing that's good about this shit. I got one fucking half of it done on the roof. I still gotta do the whole trunk and the sides. So I need to get to work. If you notice outside there, it's getting dark. And I think it's about 8:30 by now, so. A lot of fucking sanding going on here. A lot of muscle power, a lot of brain power. You gotta know what the fuck you're doing. Where's it at? Where's my BONDO buster? Okay. Right here it is. You saw that in the end we had to rely on the BONDO buster, the high torque fucking eliminator here, to actually do the job of getting it done, doing it right. So I started with the orbital fucking file sander, didn't work. I then went to my air file, that didn't really do it. We got this bitch out, that did the fucking job, got it to where we wanted it. And then of course, the block sanding. I'm gonna get to work because we want to get this thing into paint ready so my friend P can actually say it is paint ready, because it wasn't paint ready. It never was paint ready. The cocksuckers that did this fucking job, like I said yesterday, they need to go back to 7-Eleven and be a cashier or stock the fucking cooler or yeah, the donut shelf. Make some coffee, motherfucker. All right, because you're working the graveyard shift now, bitch, because you don't know what the fuck you're doing over here and making me work the fucking graveyard shift. Bitch! Okay, we've been sanding on this for 3.5 hours. If you look behind me, it's dark. 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah, that's right, 10:45. So we've been sanding on it for almost 3.5 hours. Big fucking job here. I got a little bit of fine tuning to do, but let's take a look at it and see what we got. And hopefully it's almost ready for primer. You can see that it has been blocked out. You can see where I have went down and final finessed it. But I gotta go back and yeah, right here, here's a spot. Maybe you can see that, okay? And what that is, that's the guide coat. Got to use a fucking guide coat. Anything you do on a car, you got to use a guide coat when you're painting a car. I don't care what kind of surface it is, use the fucking guide coat, because the guide coat's gonna tell you what the fuck's going on. But other than that, everything came out good. I like the way it flowed out and sanded. You can tell just by looking at it how clean the roof is now, and that it's gonna be an awesome fucking paint job. The deck lid came out awesome. We took care of all those little imperfections that Clown Hat 940 fucking 5-guy fucking 5-time chance showed us, and that's ready to fucking go. So I gotta do a little bit more block sanding up on the roof, just finalizing it up. And then I think, I'm not sure, but I'm about 95% sure, I'm almost positive that this car will actually be paint fucking ready once I put the primer on it. the stage that it was supposed to be last year at this fucking time. So, am I glad that I went ahead and did the job for the guy? Yes, I am. I'm very glad that I did. This is like a dream cartoon. This is his lifelong project of always wanting one of these. And I could have told him, fuck off, I'm not gonna do it. Take it somewhere else. But I stuck it out, I gritted my teeth, and we are now on the downhill side of this fucking thing. Tonight is the night that we actually climbed to the top of the hill, and we are going down now. We have climbed all the way to the top of Mount Everest, or Pikes Peak, or wherever the fucking state cocksucker you live in. And we are now on our downhill grade on fucking finishing this thing out and getting it out of my friend Pete's shop. So, looking really good. I like the progress. I'm actually excited about it now because we're gonna paint it two-tone. We're gonna paint it black cherry on top, and then we're gonna pick some kind of color to go on the bottom, and should look really fucking nice and be an awesome car when we're done. So, I gotta finish this out, and if you got a project at your house or possibly your shop and someone tells you it's paint ready, believe me, it ain't paint ready. And if it is, you're a lucky motherfucker and you should count your lucky stars and thank God that you don't have to do this fucking shit right here. We'll see you later. All right, we finished our block job on this bitch last night about 10:30, 10 o'clock, 10:45, something like that. And now what I'm doing is I am taping it off Sunday afternoon, and I'm going to go ahead and prime it. So what I'm actually doing here is I am final sanding it. When I say final sanding it, I am finding all the little imperfections that I missed, because that's what the guide code's for. To find that shit and to fix it so it is nice and smooth instead of rough as a fucking piece of shit could be. Now, once I get this sanded, here's a spot right here. I'm just looking for little imperfections. Just remember how rough this thing was? Stuff went on like fucking orange peel, remember that? So I'm going around and looking now. I'm really happy with the way that this filled in, because this was a very, very bad situation right here. And both of these corners were pretty much fucked up. I think we showed that to you, and by filling that in and then coming back and sanding it, it fixed that. So that worked out pretty good. But just kind of like I explained last night, I'm just going around finding all the little imperfections of where we missed, and then we will go ahead and sand it down like I'm doing, and it is now ready for 2 coats of 2K primer. Since I'm using 2K, I can go ahead and stop at 80 grit. I was going to go ahead and sand it with 180. But I think the 2K will fill that in really good, and it'll be ready for fucking sanding. This was supposed to be kind of a clown video set, and when I say clown video, explaining that paint ready isn't paint ready. But this is now turning into a DIY type clown video set, where if you watch these videos on this car and many others that I make, you're learning little hidden tech tips and helpful hints that you can use, just like what I was telling you just a minute ago about letting the BONDO and the spray, polyester spray and the primer, let it all shrink down for several weeks. That's real important. Find something else to do, take a break, go hang out with mama, go take your kids to the amusement park, do something, and wait approximately 2 weeks, and then come back to it, and I guarantee you, you're gonna fucking be thankful that you did. Be thankful. So let me get this primed, and it'll be a done fucking deal, and then we can actually say it is paint ready.